Okay, it's December 28th, it's Thursday. It's 12:35 p.m. I tried to get on a little while ago, but I got kicked off a couple of the, or at least one. Now this is a simulcast. This is pretty exciting stuff for some guy sitting in this den on the 8th floor of Royal Palm Place. But we're simulcasting on Facebook Live. Let's see it. I'm looking for. I'm still here. I'm just. So it's Facebook Live and it's Twitter and I'll have to do a screenshot of that so it doesn't take me so long to remember what those 4 channels are. They are channels that are routinely available. A little sip of coffee just for verification. No cocktails until after 5 when Marilyn gets home, so we're evenly spaced. Well, I'm looking at my physical memory up here on my control panel, and I've got 24 gigabytes of raw memory on this MacBook. Oops, no, I don't want to move that. I guess I just get in the middle. There we go. So I got 24 gigabytes of physical memory, which I'm sure you don't care. Most normal people don't. I've got 13.71 gigabytes of memory that's being used out of the 24 gigabytes I have. So that's good. I want it to be about twice what the normal usage would be, just to make sure I have enough. And the cache is 8.00 gigabytes of cache files. And 2.11 gigabytes of wired memory. So if I look at my little fucking Wagnalls up here, which you can't see, but I can see, it's not, it's just the camera's not on it. Well, it's right up here if you can see it. I don't think you can. I'm using 13.58 gigabytes of 24 gigabytes. So I'm coming in about 56% usage of my memory thing, which is perfect because there's hardly anything that could probably come up and interrupt us, at least from a memory standpoint. For all those that are interested, my blood sugar is at 141 megagrams per deciliter. You just say 141. You don't need to know that it's megagrams per deciliter. What the hell is that? And we can, whoops, 141, there we go. There we go. I'll get my fingers down here, get those on recent, and trying to figure out where the bottom is, or the top is. Do I go top or bottom? Wow. Capture a lot of images. Look at all these that are. No, you can't see them. Let me get the party rolling here. So, oops. There we go up here. And we're going to add this guy right here. Click to start. Oop, there it is. Okay. I'm having gosh darn it. There's so many. Where is it? There it is. Brez tree. This right here. Whoop. Gosh darn it. Okay, so I want to get rid of this one. I'm going to add this one. There we go. Hello. All right, so we can see what's going on. This is a standard inhaler, and that's an expando of what it says on this little tab, which is what the pharmacist looks like. 190 micrograms of 160, and then 9 and 4.8. 160, 9, 1.8 per inhalation. Now, we're already taking this today. What's it say? 20. So I've got, if you can see, I'm in the arrow. Let's see if I can get that to focus on it. Almost got it. The autofocus. I should have manual focus on one of these so I don't have to be doing this. But you can see the arrow is on the red. Yeah, which means pretty soon nothing's going to come out of here. So I've been doing one puff a day until. So I called the insurance company and said, hey, I went to the pharmacy to get this replaced. Oh, he says, no problem. You'll be happy to go there, pick it up, and it's $178 copay. I said, no. No, it's like $10, $170. No, let me get a hold of the insurance company and beat them up and see what's going on here. Well, I just found out what the donut hole is all about. I never heard of a donut hole, but apparently I'm in the hole. And she says, wait till 2024. Wait till January. And then go right in there and you'll see the pricing will be a whole lot better. I said, thank you very much. This is all, chatting with somebody in Butte, Montana. Or, I don't know where the lady was, it's people that get hired to answer these messages. So you get trained on what's going on with United Healthcare. So this little, your U card. There you go. There's my U card. Look at that. You get it up close. You get it up big enough, and you can actually see what the hell it is. This isn't any good anymore. Copay PCP, whatever that means, is 0. And if I go, I think that's my primary care physician. They get lots of letters in this medical business. So my primary care, if I go to visit them, copay is zero. They get paid enough and I don't have to pay anything. But if I go to a specialist, like my cardiologist, it costs me $35. That's what's down here on the bottom. It's probably there on my new card also. Now I'm supposed to be in instead of the HMO, I think I'm in the other one. Can't think of what that name is. Where you don't have to do this getting a referral and all. I mean, what a waste of time that is. And then the doctor gives you a referral and then you go ask for what you were going to ask for. It's another step that, makes me crazy when, in my age, what do you mean wait? I may be dead if we wait. We need to do it now. The word wait is like a 4-letter word, that I don't want to use, if you get my drift. So, I don't like waiting. To me, waiting is a waste of time. And time is one thing that you can't buy. Because when today is gone, then comes tomorrow. And unless we are going faster than the speed of light, which currently I'm not capable of, waiting, no. No thing, nothing about waiting. So here's a picture, in case you haven't seen one. Let's see. No, sorry. Picking it on the wrong screen. There we go. That is, that's one of the tunnels. You can drive a car in through there and travel all around, for I don't know how many miles. But was Elon Musk in there with his tunnel machine? I don't think so. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. And that whole Gaza underneath is a big series of tunnels underneath. It's kind of like subways in Manhattan, but it's, a tunnel for bad guys. So they can move around. They can come down here and then go over in the tunnel and then end up, in the bathroom of some other building. Well, let me turn this down. Turn that down a little bit. I'm like competing with the... I like the music, but not that loud. Okay, how's that? Is that better? That's better. Anyway, so this tunnel stuff in Gaza, so here's there's 3 of our military people saying, what the? So they have these huge pumps, and they're right near the water, and they're thinking of flooding the tunnels. You want to get the rats out of the tunnels? Let's get all our guys ready with the known holes that come up to ground level. Let's flush these tunnels with water. Now, I know they were going to do it. The question is, did they do it? And if they did, I'd like to see some pictures of the flooding process. What the hell? So, trying to think, the pump can pump X number of gallons per minute. It was like thousands of gallons a minute. You could fill up. I remember thinking this when I heard on the news that they are, I think they are flooding tunnels. And they have these pumps that can pump it would fill my swimming pool, in less than a minute. I had a 20,000 gallon swimming pool, which is, like 17 feet wide and 22 feet long by an average depth of, let's say, 5.5 feet. It was 20,000 gallons. And that's about the dimension. Just say 15 by 20 by 6. That's about 20,000 gallons of water. And I had a pump, circulating the water, through the typical swimming pool, but not so typical plumbing. I replumbed the outside plumbing of the pool. There was 4 inlets and two major inlets: the main drain and the skimmer. And the outlets, I had 4 outlets, 4 nozzles, that water came out of, because of the pump. And the pump was a 3 horsepower pump with the impeller unit, waterproof impeller unit. And that would, it pumped 160 gallons per minute. So I had to have 2 very big filters. The filters stood up, not at eye height, but, right to the middle of, right below my throat, right, the solar plexus right there. When you stand up, they were tall, and there were 2 of them. So from the output of the pump, I had 2, 2-inch pipes running into the filter. And of course I had 2 outputs, one for each filter. And that then went either back to the pool and or into the input of the pool heater. So I had a control valve right of where that union was. And I had it on the side where the return to the pool was. And I'd clamp that down and get that up to, about 5 psi, so that the water that was going by the pump was on this side of the valve at about 5 psi. I had a gauge right on there. And that would be enough pressure so that you could force the proper amount of water through the pool heater if you had it on. And then that routed back, into the input of the returned water. It was, interesting little plumbing exercise. I had it all cut and, everything was moving around good. I took a picture of it, but of course I can't find it now. I'll find it. It was, 15 years ago when I put it, I made this like a project. I figured, okay, I can do this, right? So I got the 3 horsepower pump and I figured, okay, I'm in. That was like $400 for the pump, maybe $450. I had an electrician come and give me, power for the pump. So I had a 200 amp service come outside. So my main box was a 400 amp service, 200 amps to run the whole house, and then power to run my water pump to the pool and the pool heater, because there was a compressor and so forth in there working on, Freon. And then that went, as an air over cool thing. And we're putting hot air, we're converting, so the pressure side of the pump was where the water would circulate through the pipes. And then the output, you have this big blow thing. With traditional air conditioner, you're doing the reverse. You're taking heat out of the house and putting it into the ambient air that's going through the air conditioner. So if you put your hand on the top of, the air conditioner, that's hot air. Hotter than the ambient air, because it's basically transferring heat from the house into the outside atmosphere, heating up the ambient air. Okay? Now, the pool heater, on the other hand, was the reverse. You turn that sucker on, and the outflow from the pool heater is cold air. Why? Because they're taking the heat from the ambient air, and with the compressors and the Freon, it's throwing hot, heat into the water. So instead of cooling the coils of an air conditioner with the ambient air, we're putting heat into the pool. So in a sense, it's putting heat into the pool, and then the ambient air. That's where the so you put your hand over that, and it's cold. So in that case, you're putting heat into the pool. With the common air conditioner, you're taking the heat out of the house, because you don't want a hot house. You want it cool. So if you're going to take it and put it somewhere else, where does it go? Well, the typical solution is to, have a big unit outside. That's the condensing system. And in the condenser coils, they get hot, the air over, and if you put your hands over on top of that machinery on the outside for your air conditioner, it's blowing hot air. Well, that's heat that was taken out of the house and put into the fan system and blowing ambient. In the ambient air, it's the air that comes out of that fan in your backyard is hot air. And that's the hot that's being taken out of the house and put outside. That's what an air conditioner does. So when it's 85 degrees outside, you don't want it 85 degrees inside. So let's suck that heat out. Well, that's what an air conditioner does. Now, in the case of a swimming pool, for order for us to, get in a swimming pool, we want the water warm instead of cold, so we don't freeze our little toes. So I had that thing cranked up to, about 85, 87. That'd be about it. And we did dive in that water. It feels a little cool for a minute. When you're in a shower, when you're adjusting the valves in a shower, after it gets warm, you tiptoe in the shower. And I actually had a thermometer with a cup, like a cup of water, short cup of water. So I had an accurate thermometer, and I threw it in there, and when the water felt comfortable, I'd fill that cup up a couple of times, and I'd take it out of the flow, and I'd look at the thermometer, and it's about, our bodies are 98. Well, 98, you feel like you're burning. The water's so hot. So it's running about, 96 degrees was, a nice hot shower. 95, 96, right in that range. But when you're doing, what are you going to? You're going to have a bathtub hot water, when you swim in the pool? No. So you run the pool around 85. So 86, something like that. Well, that's a lot of heat in that pool. I actually asked a friend of mine if I could run the, the system. So I'd take, with an air conditioner, you want to cool your house? Let's take that heat and put it in the pool. Just do that instead of having it blow ambient in the ambient air. Let's suck that heat into the pool. I had a, an air conditioning engineer told me that if I ran the pool heater through the house, in other words, suck the heat out of the house and put the heat in the pool, make that the system. I'd have to cut into this. It wouldn't be easy, but I didn't say anything about easy. Let's just throw the heat from the house into the pool. Why throw the heat, from the back end of the air conditioner into ambient, which means the air just gets wasted. Let's throw it in the pool. And my friends said, if you do that, there's going to be so much heat in that pool that it could get too hot to use. I said, I wish I could try that out, without going through, this. That means I have to call the air conditioning people to come in and cut in the lines, and I know what to do. I know how to direct those guys that have the copper piping and all that. And I just have to have a couple of valves, and let's cut the flow from the cooling coils in the condenser unit, and let's throw that heat into the the side of the pool heater, and let the ambient water absorb the heat from that heat that comes out of the house air conditioner. So we're taking basically the heat from the house, putting it in the pool. So I have one electric bill. Because to have that heat all blowing out, with the, when you stand outside the condenser unit out in the backyard, you put your hand over there, there's a bunch of hot air. Well, I want that heat to go in the pool. So let's connect them up that way. And have a couple valves so I can not have that happen in case the heat in the pool is so drastic. I could direct some of the Freon into the air over coils, just by turning a valve, opening this up a little bit, open up a little bit, and then some heat goes to the air over portion of the air conditioner instead of throwing all the heat into the pool. So we have a little relief valve, and we control the heat of the house and the pool with this valve that's outside. And after a while you get used to where that valve setting should be, and that way we're not wasting the heat. Everybody's into this energy conservation. Well, that's a terrible waste of heat. Anybody that has a pool, this is what you should do. You should have your pool heater near the air over coils for your air conditioner, and that way you can direct your air conditioning guy to connect up your, you connect the swimming pool heater with the condensing coils and so forth of your air conditioner, your house. It's not that big a deal. And you have a relief valve where you just open up that valve to let some of that compressed Freon go in the air over coils. You open it up all the way, and then you close off the other, and that prevents heat from going in the pool. And all that heat from that compressed Freon will flow into the condenser coils. And I should have, come up with a kit, and basically sell it into the air conditioning community, and it'd be a hell of a deal. You take the heat from the house and put it in the pool. Everybody wants warm water. Well, that's one way to warm the water. You just have to have that relief valve in there in case the pool water gets, like over 86. You don't want to keep that on because it could end up over 100. And that's what my air conditioning experts believed. Well, the one thing that the air conditioning experts didn't calculate is how much of that heat dissipates in all around the walls. You got this big concrete, boat that you filled up with water. It's 3.5, 4-inch thick gunite all the way around, basically cement. It's been blown onto the walls of this thing. And then you have this Starbright surface that goes on the gunite, so you have a nice blue, light blue interior that's made out of a different grit, that's mixed with the cement. It almost looks like grout when they mix it up, but they put it on all over, and then they get in there and trowel it, and all this stuff. It's a pretty good idea if you have a pool heater. So, other than the cost of the pool heater, you save a lot of electricity, by dumping the heat into the pool from the house. And I think you could keep pumping heat into the pool to a certain degree, because there is heat dissipation through the walls of the pool and the ground. This 20,000 gallon pool is a big, thick tub. Got the water inside, and you got the ground outside, and groundwater and all that. So that all fills up, the groundwater, and then you have the surface of the pool, which is a big surface area, and there's the tendency of the water and the wind blowing over the surface of your pool. The heat would escape that way too. So that means you keep putting heat in because of what I just said, what they put in the house air, that heat. You take the heat from the atmosphere of the house and you put it in the swimming pool. And if I had that all over, I would have done that. And have them connect the swimming pool heater. That was basically the reverse, cycle of a, air conditioner. You're just throwing heat into the pool instead of, you could do the other way, and you could take heat out of the pool and put it in the house. Reverse all of that. When you feel like taking heat out of the pool and putting it in your house. And then, of course, if you take heat out of the pool, that pool water gets very cold. So that might be something to do, like in the winter I don't know, I don't know how you'd, then you wouldn't be swimming in the pool. If you had an energy shortage and you really needed to take the heat out of the pool because of the electricity concerns and the government agencies start interfering with your ability to use public electricity. And they say, well, Mr. Wilson, you're only allowed X number of kilowatts, per month, and you're over your prescribed amount. And therefore, we're going to charge you, 50 cents per kilowatt instead of 13 cents a kilowatt when you go over this number. I mean, unless they build more sources of electricity and hook them up to the grid, that's what we're coming into. One way around it, or personally, is to put solar panels on your roof, good ones, that last and weatherproof, and they're attached to the roof so that when you have a big blow, hurricanes or whatever, it's not going to disturb the solar panels. And I can figure out how to deal with that too. Anyway, you just frame the big panels, with iron that's shaped like an L. It could be a 2-inch steel. You put that all the way around your solar panels to keep the wind from getting underneath the panel and lifting them off the roof. Now, wind blowing over those panels will create a certain amount of suction. So the panels have to be bolted down pretty good. And anyway, those solar panels do produce, a lot of power. And you put them into, so that energy would get stored in a series of, batteries that, like Tesla makes, and electricity goes into those panels, into those electric cells, lithium-ion cells. The newest cell, instead of just lithium-ion, is the lithium iron phosphate cells. Li lithium iron phosphate. 3 basic components: lithium, iron, and phosphorus. They're commercially available. There's not like a big shortage of it. Everyone said, well, of course this, but, we got more lithium here in Heinz got pickles. Lithium is a very common element, in our earth. Anyway, and we have refining processes. In the world of chemistry, they figured out how to take out iron and phosphorus and lithium from the ground. And there are certain areas of the world where there's more, more or less of those things. Anyway, instead of just lithium iron phosphate, LiPo4. lithium iron, LiFePO4. Lithium iron phosphate. That's the composition of, like 10, 15-year batteries that are used, for building power, supplemental power into power systems, in our Florida Power and Light and so forth. That's the kind of batteries that are in those panels. So you get like 3 of those panels and put them on the inside of the wall of your garage. They call for 1, but get 3. And that way, the energy from the roof is going into all 3 of those cells, into those panels, and storing a lot, so maybe you store 150 kilowatts of power in those batteries. So when you want to draw power from those cells, you got lots of it. So in the normal operation of your house, air conditioner, lighting, and electric appliances in your house, the kilowatts that it takes to run the house, which is about 15 kilowatts, I believe, 10 to 15, depending on the time of day and whether the air conditioner is on and all that kind of consideration. I think when you run your house, you got 200 amp service. Well, you multiply 200 times 240, that's the maximum power that 200 amp service will give you. And you draw more power than that, you're going to start flipping the fuses, the circuit breakers. So, that would be 40,000 watts. What? What? 40,000 watts. So that'd be like 40 kilowatts. That's why I say you want 150, kilowatts of batteries. Figuring there are 60 kilowatts of battery. So, or 50. So you want 3 of those panels, and not one, which will store about 10,000 kilowatts, I understand. Well, I want lots of kilowatts on, being stored from, the sun hitting those power cells. So in the morning, I have cells that are facing. In the afternoon, the cells, another series of panels are on the westerly roof, and that would build up. That's where most of the energy would come in the afternoon. So that's my thoughts. You don't have one set of panels; you have 2. And you put them on this facing, for the morning cells, and this side of the roof for the afternoon, because the sun is coming, from the west. So you have a westerly exposed roof. You put a bunch of panels on that. So that services the cells in the afternoon, and the other one, pushes the energy into the cells in the morning, assuming it's not cloudy and all that. But even when it's cloudy, there's energy that goes into those cells, into the the cells that collect the energy from the sun. And even when it goes cloudy, there's still some energy that gets absorbed by those panels and goes into the batteries. It's just not, it's like maybe 20% of the energy when it's sunny out as opposed to cloudy. But it's still, some energy is going, into those solar cells. Anyway, that's my thought. So if I ever had a house again, which I'm not going to, it would be a very unusual situation. Just, I'm 103 years old. Well, maybe not quite that old. And, I've already gotten out of the other house, which is like perfect, And to reproduce some of that stuff in there would take a lot of work. So we sold the house to some people, and then they redid some of the interior. And we were driving around in our old neighborhood, right? And which we do maybe every 6 months, or maybe every year or 2. Haven't been through there in a while. I drove up the driveway just to see what did they do with the pool pump. Did they? Because when we moved out, the pump failed. Now this is the pump that feeds the swimming pool, so you got to do something about that. So they bought I told them what happened, and it was right in the contract period. He said, well, we'll get a pump. Don't worry about it. So I put some chlorine in the pool, so, we wouldn't, the water wouldn't get all, screwy. And I put some chlorine in there, and keep the water from turning green. And that 3 horsepower pump, 3 horsepower pump, that cost, like $700 or $800, 10 years later, because it ran for 10 years. And it's, it just needed to replace it. I mean, you probably could have replaced some of the pieces in the pump, but, something else would, we hit their design limit. And when 10 years come, I had it engineered so you just take that pump out and swap and put another one in. I had connections, so you wouldn't have to cut into the system. You would turn off certain valves and remove the pump, and then you put new fittings on the pump so it fits right into where, the receiving units are for the piping system. It's, no saw. No, get away from this thing with a saw. With a hacksaw, they cut the shit out and they just threw it all fucking away. Oh my God. A bunch of dummies. Anyway, they couldn't figure out how the pump worked, and they didn't have the message to call me, So they just cut it out. They just, it's all that work. What the hell? Hey, what are you going to do? He sold the house to someone else, and they decided to just rip that apart. Anyway, so that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Anyway, so that's my story about putting the heat from the house into the pool. I almost decided to get, the air conditioning guy to come out there with his, blow torches and copper piping and all that, and come out with a couple of valves. And we read, I would make it so that it would be weatherproof. These valve settings, so that I could put all the heat, into the pool, or I could let some of it bleed off into the air over coils with the typical air conditioner. I thought it was a smart system, and you just have to have a good valve so that you could adjust, a nice handle on it, so you could adjust how much Freon would be forced into the air over coils, or forced, over the coils that are in the pool heater that take the heat and put it into the pool. It's just it doesn't have to be all the way this way and all the way that way. You just, you turn it so that most of the Freon goes into the coils of the pool heater, and then you release the gas as necessary into the air over coils of the air conditioner. Either way, heat's going to come out of the house, because the coils, that side of the coils is absorbing heat, and that heat then flows either into the air over coils outside, or the coils that are in the pool heater. So instead of air over, those coils are water over. And that's how you get the heat in the pool from the house. And you've got, one compressor running instead of two. Save a lot of electricity, I can tell you that, because it's a lot easier. It's a lot cheaper to pump that Freon around than it is to have two compressors with two separate seal systems. You just have to have, the knowledge. To me, physics is physics. It's not that complicated, actually. You just got to have the air conditioner guy come out with his. I said, come out, bring your blowtorch. I need a valve, a relief valve, so that we can take some of the Freon and throw it in the air over coils if the pool gets too hot, because you can't keep pumping that much Freon into the pool heater coils. Once the water gets to about 86, I'm going to back off that Freon and let more of that, that compressed Freon to go in the air over coils instead of, and if I turn it all the way over, then all the Freon will go into the air over coils. Or I could set it halfway and the Freon goes in both places. It's not simple. And 3 or 4 times a year you go out and you change that setting a little bit, depending on how much ambient cooling will occur in the swimming pool because of the you know, this big concrete thing that's holding the water, and the surface area of the water, because air blowing over that is going to cool off that hot water. And in a real cool day, you see the pool, like a little steam covering, like it's a warm bowl of soup. Well, you just don't want that water to get in the, in the 90s, because we're not trying to make this a big bathtub, because then you have to use more and more chlorine to keep it, the bacteria count down. Anyway, that's a fun story. I didn't really want to get into that, but here's a little graphic. Moving right along. I'm done with the air conditioning thing. Without diagrams, it's hard to explain. There we go. This came up with Fox this morning. So at this is 15 hours, 59 minutes, 11 seconds. So this is like at 7 o'clock in the morning, right? 3 days, 15 hours, whatever, and you're going to be in the new year. So it was like, so I thought that was pretty cool for a countdown clock. I haven't seen it on Fox again. We'll probably see it again tomorrow morning. I took a picture of the TV with my iPhone, and you can see these little movements in my hands. I tried to, cover up that imaging mistake. Maybe tomorrow I get a sharper. So that would say 2 hours, 15 minutes, or 2 hours and 16 minutes. It's counting backwards, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. So as time moves forward, there's less time in 2023. So that's what that counter is doing. I thought that was pretty cool. Here's Marilyn driving to work. And you can see the wheels moving with this app. And this at that moment, at 8:14, she was running at 12 miles an hour. Can you imagine? From the app, from the iPhone. So when she's driving around, you can see that. And if you look at other panels, let's see if I got other panel. See, here's I can actually see where she is. So at 8:14 in the morning, when she was going 12 miles an hour, she was coming up to a traffic light and eventually had to stop. So that arrow is her car. I tried to change that arrow into a car so it would look like, make it yellow and make it look like a taxi cab. Anyway, so it's the other panel that's in this whole business with the app, with the Tesla app. And here are other, so I'm pulling down, whoops, goes here, so, when you have the app on, I may as well turn it on here, so, so here's the app. They want it on all the time, so that it stays connected to the car. This is your key. Your iPhone is the key to the car. So Marilyn's iPhone is, programmed into the car, as is my phone. So when you don't want to have this app active, you don't shut it down. You just generally go like this. So this operates in the background. I don't need photos. I don't need the camera in the background. This is messages. No. I have to have this going. And I just have UPS going because I've got some packages coming. These other supporting things I don't need on. Anyway, so here's the Tesla app. So if you scroll up, you see, and it's all not visible in one pane. It's just a constant, long list of possibilities. So here you can see no, you probably can't see. It's too small. But anyway, it says 16,478 miles. And then it has a VIN number. And then it has the software version that you've downloaded into the car. And the release notes to the most recent software download, and it was minor fixes. Okay, nothing serious. And with the panel that I show, see, it was 69 degrees inside the car. See, so there's 16,474. So there's 478 because, it's like the next day and she's driving to work. And you can see the VIN number. Oops. I have to show you. Oh boy. There we go. Do the pictures. Yeah, here we go. So here's the picture of the car. It's rolling at 46 miles an hour. It's 167 miles worth of range in the battery. When it's full, it's about 260 miles of range. So we've used 100 miles of range from the battery. So, oops. Anyway, so those are the three. See, there's a VIN number, there's the count, the mileage count, software update. Here's the where you can go and see where the car is. So people don't, bad guys don't steal Teslas, because I can go to the police and say, hey, they just stole my car and here's where it is. Here's where it's going. It's going 80 miles an hour down the Pennsylvania Turnpike. It's exit 58 or whatever. My son lost his phone, his iPhone. It got stolen. He was in a breakfast shop somewhere in Pennsylvania. Because he lives, over there where Virginia and Pennsylvania touches on the border. So he came across and he was shopping or I don't know what. So he stopped in a breakfast place. So apparently he went to the bathroom or something or other, where he had the phone on the corner of his, and some guy walks by and swipes the phone. And Lee didn't notice that happening because he looked around the other way and then this guy swipes the phone. I mean, it's that quick. And you don't see the phone in the corner of your table because you figured you'd put it in your pockets or your briefcase or whatever. And then when he wanted to get the phone, it's gone. So he called me from, like a payphone or the phone of the establishment. And I answered the phone and Lee says, where's my phone? Can you look it up on your thing? And I can actually look up the location of the phone by Find My is the app. So you'll see it running right there. And everything is so complicated. So here's people. You can look up people, you can look up devices, and the tags. I got one tag with the battery is almost dead. Anyway, let's look where Daniel is. See, he's in 535 Old West Sample Road. Guess what that is? He's walking around, the building. So he's either giving a presentation or he's just finished lunch or going to lunch or whatever. But that's JM Lexus. I can turn it sideways a little bit. And then we can turn it this way. And it will look over towards, where... Can we see my blue dot? Where I am. Yeah, I'm at the top. Just on this side of the N at north, if you look carefully on your screen. Yep. Amazing, huh? You can rotate all the way around. Yep, there's this JM Lexus. It's a 2-story building. I had a Lexus, 10 years ago. RX 450H, I believe was the model number. H450/H, hybrid. So 12 years ago, I had an outstanding hybrid car. And, every 6 months or 9 months, I'd bring it in there and they, change, the oil and the air filters and all that kind of stuff. It cost me, $50 or something. You can buy service policies where you pay, let's say $30 a month, for your 3-year or 4-year lease. And it adds up to be somewhat of a discount, particularly if you're not a high mileage driver. But that way it covers all those kinds of expenses. You can buy another thing that takes care of, dents and stuff to the exterior of the car. Even if you dropped a, concrete block and it hits your roof, from 60 feet above, that kind of, the policy would cover it. You pay $25 a month for that, or whatever the pricing is. I don't actually know what the pricing is. But those service policies are very popular, with people at JM Lexus, and there they are. And Daniel is in that building right there. This is the main, it's like a drive-through. And it's a cover for it. And you drive. I think you go this way for service. And this is, a nice drive if, it's raining, so you can get picked up underneath there and not get wet. It's more decorative than anything else. And that's where the front doors are. It's quite a megapolis. Yeah, there you go. You can even see Lexus, JM Lexus on the building. Yeah, you can make it out. This is all from, I think, Google Maps. It's quite a deal, and you can rotate around and see what's going on in the back of the building, what's going on the side of the building. You can push this down so it doesn't take up the primary package, so you can go all the way around, rotating this thing, looking west now, that way. Example road, west. So in the back of the building, this is all the service stuff under here. And the cars, I guess employees, they park either in the front or the back. I think the salespeople park in the front and everyone else parks in the back. Those salespeople are the ones that really make a lot of money for the company when they sell the cars. It is, after all, a car dealership. All right, here we are again. And now we're looking south. Pull that back. Daniel is showing a car to somebody. He seems to be walking around. You see the green coming off there. Let's get rid of this. Continue without that. Yeah. Some of these broadcast channels, like YouTube, will bomb out after an hour, and I've gone over an hour and 5 minutes. So it's 1:39. I haven't had lunch yet. Heaven knows where my blood sugar is. Let's see if I have that blood sugar thing on. Oops. I don't think I have. I may not have the app. Oh, there it is. Right there. Oh, I'm 103. So you see, it's down towards the bottom edge of the green. which means it's time to eat. Because you don't want it to go below the green, and you don't want it to go over the green. Now, I was over from 4 a.m. Well, I can do this. Right there, when it goes over 185, which is somewhere between 3 and 6, that's halfway, is 3, 4, 5, 6, that's 4 a.m. So about 3:45, my blood sugar went past the green, went over 185, and it came down at 6, 7, about 7:50 in the morning, because I took a shot right there. It's amazing, how you can control this blood sugar stuff. But, you gotta pay attention. I have this thing in my arm. It's a pain in the ass to, slap it on you. It hurts for a second. But, it keeps monitoring your blood every 5 minutes. This sucker, you can see how, look at the little changes in the blood sugar during this couple of hours. And then it came up a little bit. What's this? 9, 10, about 10, 10:30. It's my second cup of coffee with sugar in it, which I shouldn't put sugar in it, but I do. And then it starts coming down again because I took a shot in there. And now, and I don't know, maybe this is my second cup of coffee, which is coming up. That's at 9, 10, 11 o'clock. Yeah. So this is my second cup of coffee. So I took a shot, because it's like after 12, around 12 I do that in preparation for having lunch. It's 1:42. So the question is, what do I want for lunch? I have pasta with, mushroom gravy, all ready to go, which is one of my favorite things to munch on. I got to take a shot before that. I have my insulin right here, baby. And you just take a shot, and you just shove that thing into your belly. Got enough fat tissue there where, it won't get lost. And squirt a little, they call it subcutaneously. You take an injection subcutaneously. I don't know what other kind of injection there would be. I guess, a thing where you just squirt stuff into your mouth. That would be injecting something into your mouth without a needle going subcutaneously, meaning under your skin. A lot of Latin, in this medical world. Anyway, so I'm 105. That's a low for the day. So it's time to have lunch. 1:43. So I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to flip this thing down and sneak underneath this. Actually, I don't need to do that. So I come over here and hit end broadcast. Excuse me, where is that? Whoop, it's buried down below. There we go. I had this pulled down a little too far. So I hit this green thing over here, this corner. See, I could do this. Let's see, where is that? There it is. I hit this little button here. There we go. So now, whatever I have on this screen is, minimized, if you will. There's Daniel working away. He's in the front of the sales thing, and you can zero in on that, and you can see where he's working. Anyway, to continue that story with my son, Lee, someone walked off with his phone, and I could see the phone. So I sent him print screens from my iPad. I sent that to his email address. And he picked up those pictures and then sent them on to the police department. And the police went after him, pulled him over, and got the phone. Is that like crazy or what? I mean, geez. He called me because I'm connected to his, Yeah, so this guy had the phone and he drove off. He figured, hey, man, I got a $1,500 phone here. He didn't know he could be, he could get turned in. So, and I kept sending him pictures of where, every 20 minutes, I kept sending him images. And the guy pulled over in some place and, had lunch or something or other. And then I got an image of that. His car's in the driveway of whatever that place was. And I made sure the image had the, the captions of the roads like here. And they caught the guy, grabbed the phone, and he said, you can just meet up with the sheriff. He's, one of our sheriff's officers has the phone sitting on his front seat. So, he'll be at this address and you can go pick up your phone. So he drove over and met the police guy and identified himself, and he turned over the phone. He got the phone back. And the other guy, they put handcuffs on him and took him down to the station for grand theft. It was over $1,000, so he's in a world of hurt. I don't know what happened to him, but we caught him electronically. That's why no one steals a Tesla, as far as car theft, because the car has built-in, signal tracking. Because I know where the car is. I can go look up Maryland right now on this thing. I just go to the Tesla app. I use my finger. And so here's the Tesla app. And let's just put in the location. There it is. So Marilyn is in the parking lot. This is the building. She works in the building on the left. I got that minimized now. And the car is red, and the address is 2300 Glaze Road. So that's where the car is. So if someone steals the car and parks it in that parking lot, there it is. Or they steal the car and they go anywhere. It'll follow the car. It'll tell you how fast it's going, what direction it's in, everything about that car. So no one steals those things because, they get caught right away. Because, and other cars should have, that kind of technology built into the car so that people that steal cars, can't get to it because it's like under the car and then, you have to put it up on, a lift to deal with the electronics of such a device. But that's how for car safety. All right. It is 1:48. I've been on air for 1 hour and 14 minutes. And so we're going to say goodbye. I'll stop yapping. I'll see you tomorrow, like in the morning, maybe the late morning or early lunch, something like that. Anyway, just keep an eye out, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.